Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Henry. I'm running for House District 25, State Rep. Hope you're having a safe and pleasant Labor Day weekend. There is no capital without labor, and I'll move aside here so you can see my sign. I'm endorsed by the Texas Gulf Coast Federation of Labor, AFL-CIO, and I'm very proud of that. We're going to be talking about testing this afternoon. So the first person who can personal messenger me on my Facebook at Patrick Henry for HD25 with the correct order of the different tests from the beginning of Texas testing until STAAR gets a free Patrick Henry for House District 25 t-shirt. As teachers, Kathy and I experienced all of them. All right, so let me say that again. The first person to PM me at Patrick Henry at HD25 with the correct order of all of the different tests from the beginning of Texas testing in about 1980 until STAAR gets a free Patrick Henry for HD25 t-shirt. And again, I hope you're having a safe Labor Day and that your boat is above the water. So, you're trapped in a room all day. You have to eat lunch in that room. Your bathroom breaks are monitored. You're anxious. You'll be judged based on the result of this one test on this one day of the year. You've been told the whole school, even the district, depends on your performance on this one day. The dread you feel gripped your stomach last night. You tossed and turned until morning. You skipped breakfast. Your family told you as you headed out the door that you'd do well not to worry, if only that were possible. Silent hours in a closed room, unable to do anything but stare at the others in the room until late in the afternoon when the testing day is over. And you're the teacher. For the students, they cry, they throw up, and eventually some of them give up, putting their heads down at the start of the test. Welcome to testing in Texas, an exercise in futility, even in a non-COVID year. Testing is required by the federal government to determine accountability for funding. They would like to see student success, school success, and district success annually in all demographic groups. They call it annual yearly progress. Federal funding for Title I and other programs comes to between $5 and $6 billion a year, roughly 10% of the education budget. As a sidebar, to put the rainy day fund in perspective, there's $10 billion in the rainy day fund. $65 billion is the school budget. $10 billion in the rainy day fund that everybody thinks we ought to drain. That's not a Gulf Coast rainy day, maybe a West Texas rainy day. So, no testing, no money. Bush's No Child Left Behind morphed into Obama's Every Student Succeeds Act, with some changes to make it more realistic. For 2020, states were able to get a COVID waiver, but Cruella Betsy DeVos says no waiver for 2021. Testing is as much a political football as anything else, so her decision may change as November nears. Meanwhile, our governor's support on this issue echoes as loudly as butterfly wings. Silence. If the governor is going to grant a waiver, it'd be good to do it soon because the first tests are in December. So, schools juggle online learning while the threat of testing diminishes time and focus on real student success. Part of the joy of standardized testing is a practice test. data aggregation, remediation, group meetings, scolding, threatening. Lather, rinse, repeat. So let's start with the obvious. We have students who lost months because of Harvey, and now months because of COVID. Nobody has time for the damn STAAR test. Spend the $73 million statewide to get kids caught up. They may lose even more learning time this fall if plans fall apart. If there's another spike after Labor Day. If going back in person was not a good idea. Teachers need time to develop layered lessons. Time to create activities for closing the gaps. Time to respond personally to students. They don't need the burden of the state's STAAR treatment. Just as we don't need the STAAR as a diagnostic tool on student progress, we surely don't need it for school accountability. Newsflash, 2020 sucked. There, I saved the state $73 million. Republican State Representative James White from Hillister said, I don't want an accountability rating that really tells me who dodged the COVID-19 and who had a hot spot. So pretty much 2021 will suck in terms of accountability for school districts. Yes, students in schools are lagging, and it's hurting low-income and minority populations the most. I won't even charge Mike Morath, the corrupt and incompetent commissioner of Texas Education Agency, for that diagnosis. That's what we're demanding. This is what we're demanding of our teachers. Please teach virtually. Teach face-to-face. Keep kids apart and masked. Please answer all parent emails promptly. Sanitize your classroom. And try to treat children like little humans and not disease vectors. Group your students to reach those who did well last spring with virtual learning, as well as those who were lost or had to drive to town to use the internet. Create lesson plans. Write them in detail on the server. Use the 12 new technologies we just had put in your email. And let's throw in the STAAR test. Benchmarks, practice tests, reports. I think not. Let me be clear. It does not help anyone except testing companies and stockholders to give the STAAR test this year. The results would be meaningless, telling us what we already know at a cost of $73 million or more. Our students do not need the added trauma. Our teachers have enough on their plates. Let them teach. Let the testing staff help in ways that are meaningful to students. Let Ken Paxton sue Betsy DeVos. If need be, encourage the governor to stand firm in protecting our public schools. I suggest voting for all the teachers into office you can. There are a number of us running. Get your voting shoes on. Time is short. I wanted to talk a minute about upcoming events for this week. Wednesday, we will be in Bay City for the Matagorda Democratic Party meeting at the Birding Center off of Highway 35. Saturday, we will be doing a lit drop in Angleton from 9 to 11 a.m. with Adrian Bell. We currently have volunteers phone banking. If you care to join us, let me know. Have a good evening. Have a good Labor Day. Oh. My staff here is reminding me, not so subtly, that I did forget that next Sunday we'll be doing a virtual Meet the Candidate, where some of you have been following me at 4, not at 5. Sorry. Some of you have been following me and you know who I am, but this virtual Meet the Candidate is for folks that don't. So we need you to sign up on Mobilize. And we also need you to, when we put out ads this week on Facebook, when we do tweets, when we put things on all the other social media platforms, please share those so that the word gets out and as many people as possible can attend the virtual Meet the Candidate. Oh, just hand me the note.
The Mobilize is going to be on your webpage.
Oh, the Mobilize
And
is going to be on my webpage.
And Facebook.
And Facebook. So, if nothing else, we are always professional here. Patrick Henry for HD25.com. Have a pleasant evening and a good Labor Day Monday.